So we're back again with a new episode tonight, and I just finished watching the Sunday night episode of Big Brother 28. And first impressions, pure chaos. So we start off with the end of the eviction. We see Ashley's photo grayed out. We see how everyone's responding. It doesn't seem like people are crying or too upset, which makes sense considering no one was in a major alliance with Ashley, which leads us to our first head of household well, no, this is our first head of household competition where everyone can compete. Because if you recall, our last competition, we only had 3 people who were eligible, which were Dee, Angela, and Devins. Now we have all 16 house guests competing. Well, no, 15, because Dee can't compete because she was the outgoing head of household. So 15 house guests are competing this week. And without a surprise, Devins wins head of household, which allegedly he was not trying to win. It just kind of happened that way. But based on what we know about Devins, in my opinion, he's someone who's going to make a big move, even if it's early on. And he did not disappoint when it came to his nominations, but we're about to get there shortly. Then, as head of household, everyone's trying to talk to you, spit game to you. Remember, Devins is in overlapping alliances, and he has his main people, Angela, Dee, telling him exactly what he needs to hear and telling him that they support him no matter what. Rome thinks he's good with Devins and reveals to Devins who he wants safe. And there's like a split house situation going on. So he literally lists everyone that he wants safe, which is like 6 people. And Devins is like, nah. So then Rome's like, well, let me give you 2 other people. So as long as it's me, Jason, and Lyric are safe, everyone else, you can put them up. Which in theory sounds good, but in the game of Big Brother, you want to keep your true motives to your chest. Now Devins has the ammunition to go after Rome or weaken him when he's ready to do it. Um, so I don't think originally Devins had any intentions on nominating Rome up until his conversation with Angela, where she told him Rome has to go, make a big move, let's put up his allies, and then let's backdoor him. Devins was down. Then he sprinkles that information with the alliance. He ends up forming a new alliance with the overlapping alliance called the Tool Shed, I believe, or the Toolbox. Let's say the Toolbox. And that consists of Devins, Barrett, Drew, Dee, Angela, Chuck, Camu, Haley. They're all together, the Tool Shed. And while they're making this alliance, Rome comes up to the room to have a conversation with Devins. He hears people up there. Jason also saw that group go up there as well. And you know what they did? They didn't let Rome in the head of household room, which is hilarious. So on the edit, they made it seem like Rome rang the doorbell 10 times. But I think on the live feeds, he only rang it once. Whatever the case may be, they ended up coming back down. Rome and Jason sees them. So obviously, there's a split, and everyone knows it now. Then we have the BB time capsule vote that America did, and we picked Angela to win it, which I don't necessarily agree with the vote, but what can you do? Because I already feel like Angela has an advantage because she's a veteran of the game and she's very well insulated in the house. Needless to say, she ends up competing and loses and has a punishment where she now has to wear a hard-boiled egg costume for the remainder of the week. Which the costume is hilarious, but I feel like the costume is very heavy and Angela, she's a little more mature, so I don't know if she wants to be wearing that heavy costume all the time. That's a lot. Like, what happened to the red leotard? Like, that was a moment. Shout out to Jen Johnson from season 8 for making that a whole fashion situation. Can we just bring the red leotard back? Like, I'll be pissed if I had to wear like a clown costume, be sent away and a robot's taking my place, like on season 20 with Sam. I just can't. Like, put me in a red leotard. I'll give you a show. Okay. So then it leads us up to the nomination ceremony where Devins goes against Rome's wishes and nominates exactly who Rome wanted to save. which were Lyric, Jason, and he threw up Melody for fun, which Melody's also working with that side of the house. But then to top it off, Devins reveals that Rome threw everybody in the alliance, said everybody in the alliance could be nominated, that they were disposable. That includes like your Lalas, your Melodies, maybe Taylor to an extent. Whoever else is on that side of the house is disposable. And immediately you see Lala's face done. Then on top of that, afterwards, Jason pretty much loses his marbles and goes off. Then episode cuts, which I was pissed because I was like, here y'all go. We have an opportunity to have great numbers for this episode, but they want us to wait until Wednesday to see how it all went down. Luckily, I just so happened to watch the live feeds Friday night, and for the first time ever, we got to see the post-nomination drama in real time. And that's where you see Jason's going after Angela. People are getting called bitches, and which we saw in the episode. Angela called Jason a bitch, right? Then we also see Jason and Haley get into it. Then we see Rome and Angela get into it. Then Haley and Rome get into it. It's just like pure insanity. At one point, if I'm not mistaken, Rome gets out his seat. Chuck gets in his face. Madness. Meanwhile, Lala is hysterically crying. I probably revealed too much in this section. But that's where the episode drops us off at, and I was more than satisfied. Like, usually Big Brother at the beginning of the season, it starts out very, very strong, but it kind of, we don't have like a big climactic ending, except last season when Ashley won. That surprised us, right? But normally the major alliance kind of picks everyone off, and then it's just left with them, and then they go after each other. It's kind of the formula, which could happen again. But if it's going to happen, at least we got some fireworks the first few weeks, and I'm completely satisfied in this outcome. So let's go down to the house dynamics. I have this graphic by Billy Biggs on Twitter or X. And like I said, we have the tool shed consisting of D, Angela, Barrett, Devins, Drew, Camu, Haley, and Chuck. And from that extension, Camu, Chuck, and Haley have a great relationship with Yash. Yash is not in a major alliance yet. Then Drew and Melody are showmancing a bit, but Melody is connected to Lyric and still connected to Mallory to an extent. Remember, she was distancing herself, but hey, it's a numbers game. I guess she's going to keep her in her back pocket. Then on top of that, we have Rome and Lyric, who are in a showmance together. And then Rome and Jason have some type of connection. I think Jason's attracted to Rome. Rome likes the attention, whatever the case may be. Then Rome, up until the nominations, was very close to Latrice, Lala. Remember, Rome, Jason, and Lala had their alliance together. And then Taylor is not in any major alliance, excuse me, but she has a close relationship with Latrice. And that's where our alliances sit this week as of right now. Things could change in the next coming days, but we'll see. So, we have 3 breakout stars for the episode. In no particular order, I'm going to just drop it. Angela, right? I keep saying Angela every week because, number one, she gets the most camera time. So I'm seeing everything from her perspective. Let's call it what it is. Also, her convincing Devins in the edit to make a big move. Amazing. Love that. Because not only could she get possibly one of her targets out, which is Jason, she doesn't necessarily have to get the blood on her hands because it's on Devins. Brilliant. Plus, she's about to give us drama at this nomination ceremony, and we love the costume. We love the hard-boiled egg costume. It's like, no, give me a red leotard bag, like I said before. Then another breakout star, which is a weird situation, but I'm going to say it's Rome. Everyone has Rome's name in their mouth. Like, there wasn't a situation where Rome was not involved. Now, that doesn't mean that he's safe. He's very much at risk. He might go home this week. But he's still a breakout star. He has a showmance. People know about the showmance. On that side of the house, he's like the major figurehead for it. So the toolbox feels like if they get Rome out, the other side of the house will crumble and they can pick up whoever's left or pick them apart. I'm not mad at it. But that all deals with Rome. Then the third breakout star, I'm going to say Devins. I believe that this is a great head of household nomination ceremony in a sense that some people are like, you don't want to target big names right away, right? But I do feel like if you feel threatened by somebody, take them out, take the shot. And especially if they have a showmance, put them both up, honestly. Because we don't want a situation where if I put up one person from the showmance and the other person gets to compete in that veto competition, then if they win it, then they can save the other person's showmance, which kind of defeats the purpose of everything. But as we discussed in the live feed spoilers at the end of the episode, it's going to work out to Devin's advantage. So yeah, those are my top 3 breakout stars for this week. Well, for this particular episode. Now, we have power rankings. The 3 house guests in the best position and the 3 house guests in the worst position, right? So, I have this target chart that was put together by Billy Biggs from X or Twitter. And from the toolbox, it seems like most of them are going after Rome, Jason, Lyric, Rome, Jason, Melody. And then, of course, Haley has to be the weird one and throw in Latrice because she just, for whatever reason, doesn't like Latrice. I don't know. Then on the other side of the house, most people want Haley out. They're also after Devins and D to an extent. And then the third person is Angela. So it's essentially what do they call them? The 3, not celebrities, but the 3 stars in the house versus the other side. And that's what it looks like. It just looks like Big Brother 6 all over again. But I don't think Big Brother 6, I don't think the division was there this fast. I think it happened maybe when Cappy left. But that's a whole nother conversation. But to discuss the 3 house guests in the best position this week, not including the head of household because they're safe, I'm going to say D. Say D because her number 1 is the head of household. So there's no situation where D is going to get nominated or backdoored unless there's a power at play here that's going to coup d'etat the nominations and put her on the block. But D's insulated really well. Also, Angela. Although Angela is public enemy number 1 with your Jasons and Romes, Angela, because Devins is head of household, there's no situation where, from where I see, Devins is going to put her on the block. So I think Angela is very much safe. Third person that's very safe this week, surprisingly, although she doesn't have any, or though she's not in any major alliances, I'm going to say Taylor. When I look at this chart, her name is not there. Taylor's name, one of the only house guests that's not mentioned at all. And I think that's really good for her gameplay. Hopefully, people will start including her in these conversations because what I don't want to happen is, although she is in a great position, when someone needs to go on a block or someone that's disposable or the person that they want out won't go, they might throw Taylor on a block and she could go home if she doesn't win a blockbuster competition. So I think this week she's definitely 100% good. Devins has no intentions of putting her up. I don't know what it's going to be like for her next week, though, depending on who's power, especially someone like Haley. Because you already know how Haley do. House guests, the 3 house guests that are the most vulnerable this week are no surprise, or we're not surprised about it. Listen, it's late. I can't talk right now. We're not surprised about it. We have Rome, who is the head of the snake. Although he is not nominated, he could get backdoored if the veto is used. We'll see what happens. And if he's on a block post blockbuster, they will send him packing against anyone he's nominated against because he's such a huge threat, which would be unfortunate because I feel like in order for this one side versus the other side battle to continue, you need two main people to constantly keep going after each other. And one of those people is Rome. So if you take him out to Devin's, Angela, and Dee's viewpoint, the other side will fall apart. And it's crazy because Rome in my preseason, I said he might be an early boot. I wasn't high on him, but watching the episodes in general, he's been way more grounded than I even expected for myself. Second person, I'm going to say Jason. Remember, it was exposed that Jason really doesn't like Angela and he was using her empathy to his advantage, also bringing up his deceased mother. The alumni, the Big Brother alumni online are not feeling it. The fans aren't feeling it. The fact that Jason literally crashed out in the diary room because he thought that he was going to get the opportunity to compete for this mystery power because it was based on America's vote and he thought that he was going to be the most popular speaks volumes. And in the event that Rome is not on the block, if Jason is sitting on the block with Lyric, I can see a situation where Jason goes home. Like, although Lyric is connected to Rome specifically, Jason might have rubbed people the wrong way enough where they will just want to evict him. And they also say he's great at competitions, but in my opinion, he hasn't won anything. So maybe, I don't know, walk with me. In the last 5 seasons of Big Brother, there's been a pattern with the gay men of the season. There's normally one, and they're usually targeted early because they're perceived as comp threats. We have Heisem, we have Jimmy. I mean, Michael might have been on his way out week 1, but he saved himself, you know? And it looks like Jason might fall into this archetype as well. And I don't want him to go too early, but I do feel like by him opening his mouth up to Drew or blabbing his feelings about Angela to Drew, it's worked against him. And he might definitely be a pre-jury boot this season. And then my third person who's the most vulnerable is Lyric. Lyric is almost a casualty of war, essentially. She is in a showmance, an open showmance with Rome. Remember, Mallory, Yash heard it. Other people are seeing it. And now she's on the block because of him. So if they can't get Rome out, why not take out his number one? Makes sense. I get it. But I don't think she's necessarily done anything to actually make herself a threat other than her affiliation to Rome. So before we jump into the live feed spoilers, one of my favorite books is The 48 Laws of Power, written by Robert Greene. And I want to start highlighting one of the best laws used in the episode. And I'm going to say Law 4. Always say less than necessary. And that's where Rome fucked up this episode. When you're trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and make it sound like nothing at all. Powerful people impress and are intimidated when you're saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. I mean, Rome, you literally gave Devins the formula to your alliance. And then in the nomination speech, Not only did Devins use that information to his advantage, he's essentially got your other allies turning against you. Please, everyone, just stop talking. Just stop talking. Rome could have just said anybody. At this point, he could have said Chuck. Like, say Haley. Lie. Like, don't reveal the people that you're actually working with. We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. Because everyone's just talking too much. I get it. We're in this house for 24 hours a day. I get it. It's different when you're in there versus you're watching from TV. But it's just like, keep some things close to your chest. Please, please keep something close to your chest. All right, live feed spoilers. We had complete madness after nominations. Like I said, there was fights, there was screaming. Lala is probably still crying 2 days later. Like, she's so hurt by Devin saying that Rome said she was essentially disposable. Like, I don't want to invalidate her feelings. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. I believe it's a lot. Everything is intensified. But it's just like at some point you got to feel it and figure it out. We got to hone it in. We got to hone it in. We got to hone it in. Then on top of that, you got, even after the blow up, Jason and Angela are making up and still at each other's throats. Rome is over here doing damage control. Now he's over here fake breaking up with Lyric. And then they're like, well, let's just act like we're not together. Then Lyric is out here flirting with Chuck, flirting with Yash, straddling them on the couch, which I don't mind. Like, people are like, oh, how's she acting like this? It's Big Brother, baby. Like, my whole thing is, I respected Allison on Big Brother 4. She had a whole boyfriend back at home and literally used her sex appeal to get to second place. Like, some people might say that's morally wrong, but hey, the boyfriend still stayed with her after the show. Like, she did what she needed to do in order to possibly win $500,000. Like, let's get back to that type of gameplay. That's why I'm not even mad at Lyric. Like, girl, do what you need to do in order to stay in the game. Like, I'm not even mad at it. Like, if you can't win a competition, win over someone's heart. Period. That's where I'm at with it. Also, power veto competition. We don't know exactly what happened because we're not shown the competitions, but Devins won the veto. And unfortunately, Rome was not selected to compete in the veto. So apparently Devins wants to keep the nominations the same, allegedly, but I don't really think that that's going to happen. The nomination ceremony, well, the post veto nomination ceremony or renomination ceremony isn't until tomorrow. So for me, I think it would be wise if he took Melody off the block, because Melody is someone I think that they could win over and she could start working with them. She's a gamer. She's emotionally intelligent. She knows her stuff. Take her off the block to guarantee her safety. Put Rome in her place. Then going into Blockbuster, you got Lyric, Rome, and Jason. If Rome wins it, you got Lyric versus Jason. Me personally, I would vote out Lyric. Although Jason is a threat, if you want to weaken the monster, you got to take out his right-hand woman. So Lyric would have to go. If Lyric wins the Blockbuster, you got Jason and Rome. Rome got to go. If Jason wins Blockbuster, you got Lyric versus Rome. Rome got to go. So for me, like I said, I will put Rome on the block. And the only way Rome saves himself is if Rome wins the Blockbuster. Otherwise, he's completely backdoored and he's going home week 2. Now, the toolbox owns the game. You can start picking off the other side of the house one after the other. And that's it. So, let me know how you feel about this episode. Leave a like, leave a comment, watch it again, share with friends. Just let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at info@brycelennon.com. Be sure to check us out for the next episode on Wednesday evening, followed by the live eviction episode on Thursday night. So, enjoy the start of your work week. I'll talk to you soon.